I've been talking so long.
Hey guys, my name is Jackie Novi. I am doing a review-ish on Stella Adler Acting Studio's Winter Musical Theater Intensive. So stay tuned to learn some really cool tips and tricks for auditioning, what I thought of the process, and some pros and cons if you are looking into the summer intensive or the winter intensive for next year.
It was a 2-week program, so it started on Monday, January 6th, and it went all the way until the 17th. Basically a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So it's a very personal journey, no matter where you go. But I would say that this intensive is so great for so many different reasons. Like, even if you're just looking to look more about the industry in general, like, it's great. But if you're looking for specifically auditions, it's great too. If you're looking for more rep, it's amazing because you learn so many different roles and songs for you. Like, I gained like 10 more songs that I could learn right away. You learn from each other a lot, which I really like. Seeing the transformation on other people is really eye-opening, and I think I actually might go back for the summer if I don't get a job. I think that it's really important to kind of tap into yourself when you're acting, and this intensive really taught me how to do that without becoming the character. I have a habit of like putting on the Ritz and like putting on a performance like I'm just some kind of malleable piece of clay, and like I'm not that. I'm a human. Like, I have my own beliefs. It's a spectrum, you know? You kind of need to find the balance between being the character and being yourself. That character is three-dimensional. You got to find out the ins and outs of that character and like what you want to portray that's not in the script. Don't wear something that doesn't make you feel good because you think it fits the character. 16 bar cuts are okay, and like they can actually tell a lot about you instead of like always the 32 bar cut. And also, you like how you need a good 8 bar cut in your book. You want to make sure that like if you're playing a badass, your headshot is badass, your outfit is badass, your confidence is badass. You don't want to go in there and your headshot looks like this, and you're wearing a dress that has flowers on it. You're booking the job because you're you. You're not booking the job because you're somebody else. They want people who are different and people who have a new take on things and people who are vulnerable in their own way instead of being vulnerable in the way that Stephanie J. Block would be. You're offering them a solution. Yes, they're giving you a chance to come in, but if you mess up, you're only hurting you. As an actor, you're totally replaceable. So you kind of just gotta be like, I'm gonna show up on time. Because if I don't, I hurt myself. And you do. It's just how it works. Like, we love this industry, we love her. But she's tough. I'm so glad I took notes, because if I didn't take notes, I'd be like, what just happened? Like, half of it is like being present and in the moment, and like that's half of acting too. So I feel like this intensive really prepared you for like any situation, because it pushed you to the point of like, yes, you were sleepy, but you have to be there. Ground yourself. I don't think people were like, do this or else. I think people were like, yes, and. I usually like sink into my feelings. This intensive really taught me to be like, you need to be on time and you need to do all of this in order to have a successful career. Making sure that you have physical strength is important, as well as mental strength and endurance, because you need that for dance calls, because you know you might not be having a great day up until the dance call, and you might not have had a great audition, but the dance call could turn everything around. But you learn from those days. You learn to be like, oh, I need to be present all the time, and this is how I do it, instead of being like, oh, I'm usually present, why am I not present? Like, what the why am I doing this? You don't always learn from yourself first. Everybody was from a different section of their career. Most of us were like college age, but there were some people who were 40, or there were some people who just graduated high school. And it also ranged in like how we related to musical theater. Like, there were people like me who have been dancing and singing since they were 3 years old. And then there were people who were like, I just got into musical theater last year. I like did a show for the first time and I realized that this was really cool and I wanted to pursue it. And like, they don't know how to read sheet music. They learned how to conduct themselves in a way that was useful for auditions, that was useful for rehearsals. There's so much stuff that you don't get taught if you don't go to school for musical theater. So it's just really valuable information that everybody could benefit from doing an intensive like this if you're interested in musical theater. Not even as just a career, but like even if you want to know more about the business but you don't know if you're serious enough about it, this intensive would be a great way for you to see how serious it can get. I definitely think that I'll stay in touch with these people for a long time just because they are going in the industry, and like I didn't go into it expecting to network with people at all. Part of it is like making new friends that you'll like rely on in the industry. Now I'm gonna go on to the pros and the cons of Stella Adler. Some pros that I would think about is like that it was definitely well balanced. I thought that the days were well rounded, like it was a 9 to 5, very consistent. I didn't really lose focus in the days. Like yes, the days were long and like we only got an hour lunch break. It's basically like a job or school or whatever you want to call it. You're there to improve yourself. You do pay for it, so it's not free, but I would say that you do get your money's worth out of it. Also well-rounded in the sense of like there is dance, acting, and singing basically every single day. Every class had some combination of acting, singing, movement. It boosted my confidence so much. Like I talked about this a little bit beforehand, but like I was so validated during my time there. Like, I got a lot out of the program. It was very eye-opening. I felt like I affirmed my choice to look at other schools and to transfer. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity because nobody is going to be in the same place at the same time again unless we get together for a reunion, and that's very slim. And it was. I'm never going to be 21 and in the city with all of these 15 people again. I would say that it's very diverse in the sense of like everybody was at different places in their lives, everybody was at a different level with musical theater, and everybody had a unique take on their crafts. And I felt like that was really important. I felt like it was very handpicked and people took the time to think about it, and it was a really good match. I felt like every single person learned so much, which is saying something. Our movement and wellness teacher told us that each day moves like a week, and I feel like that's true in an intensive like this because it's so fast and you're absorbing so much information at once. It's only 2 weeks, and these 2 weeks are really cramped. Like you can't really do that much outside of class time. I mean, it's a bummer, but not a bummer at the same time. Like I could have spent my weekend sightseeing and everything, but I was in another theater supporting my boyfriend. I would say that I wished that I had more energy to like go out and see the world. I was just too exhausted at the end of every single day, and like I was afraid that I was gonna get sick during the second week, and I did not because I stayed home and I slept, and like I was like no. But I do think that's like also like where you're at, and like if you're used to that, and like if you're used to like being in class all day and then going out at night, then you're fine. You're gonna be pretty exhausted and you're gonna want to stay home all the time, and like that's not necessarily the point of going to New York, but it is the point of being in the program. You're supposed to be exhausted. You're supposed to be putting that 100% in there. So I guess that's a con of like doing it if you're from out of town. I'm just a 4-hour bus ride away, so it's not that big of a deal to me, but you just kind of have to take that into account. It's very limited, so the faculty only have 4 classes each with you, if not less. You have to like really try and make an effort in these classes, and if you aren't present one day, it will show. And B, you won't get your money's worth out of that day. Like if you aren't present, then you're gone for that day. And what notes did you write down? None? You aren't gonna remember that. Just a thing to think about. Oh, another con I would say is that a lot of it is group activities. And like, yeah, you do get an individual evaluation with the faculty, but that's not all of the faculty. It's only for like 6 minutes. Just be really upfront with them on like what you want from the get-go.
Hey guys, I really hope that you learned a lot from this video. I learned so much from doing the Stella Adler Winter Musical Theater Intensive. Wow, that's a mouthful. I really hope that you learned something from this video. If you did, please comment down below what you learned. If you want more videos like this, feel free to also comment what you liked about this video so I can keep that in mind. This also might become a series, so if you're interested in that, please comment down below. I really appreciate your feedback, and if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you loved it, please subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate you. See you guys later.
I've been feeling so